Mainstream media is dead. Let's make that very clear. And it did it to itself. I don't know who is tuning in to CNN anymore to see Jake Tapper spew propaganda for the Israeli government and play both sidesism while Donald Trump is carrying out fascism. But what I do know, not an exact number, but a smaller number every single day. And the number of people willing to do that at CNN also just got smaller as an anchor resigned on air while Donald Trump is declaring war on the news outlets you can call CNN as it is being bought up by yet another billionaire attempting to control the media. And it is because they are doing it at Donald Trump's direction. You can see it here. Trump calling on CNN to be bought being the disgrace that it is because he needs to control and propagandize. It's where I want to start before we get to this CNN host who quit on air. Depends. You have some good companies bidding on it. I think the people that have run CNN for the last long period of time are a disgrace. I think it's imperative that CNN be sold because you certainly wouldn't want to put people, just leave those people with some money, good money, and CNN so that you know they can spend even more money spreading poison because it's lies. It's a disgrace. So I wouldn't want to see the same company end up with CNN, the same company with money, because right now they don't have too much money. Donald Trump demanding that CNN be sold to Larry Ellison specifically. He's not just saying like, this is a poorly company and we do not want to see a great American product like CNN have its reputation tarnished. We need new ownership. No, he's saying like, please tarnish away whatever is left of the brand. Let's rip it up, sell it for scraps, and he'll profit massively off of that because Donald Trump has seen Newsmax, he's seen Fox, he's seen, what's the other one? Oh, he's checking out CBS. And he thought to himself, I think I need one more. That is the point of the presidency that we are at. Donald Trump is so unable to propagandize for himself that he needs his billionaires to buy up another news outlet to help him. And we know exactly what is going to happen when they do. Because an anchor who left CNN reading the wind, seeing which direction it was blowing, said exactly that. Jim Acosta about what happened at CBS, which will take place at CNN under Larry Ellison, under the ownership of a family that is very closely aligned with Donald Trump. And so there are a couple of things that I think will happen. One is if this same family is allowed to own CNN, they will combine those two news organizations and we'll see another round of massive layoffs that will put journalists out of work. And not just the folks who are on the air, the photographers, like the ones that we see here, producers who work behind the scenes, technical crews who put these shows on the air, bureaus that are located around the world. Look what Jeff Bezos has done with the Washington Post, closing bureaus and offices and places around the world that are now very important to the news that we're getting today. And the other, I think, more disturbing aspect of this is that you basically have partisan hacks running CBS News. And they, as I said earlier in my comments, shell a piece on 60 Minutes about the notorious SEC prison. Jim Acosta is exactly right. And it is not just that end bit, that point that he made, that maybe is the most important. Yes, they will be partisan hacks. That is true. But the beginning, the sentiment echoed at the start of that clip by so many, but Acosta in particular, it really rings true. There will be mass firings. This is about hurting journalism, not just by spreading propaganda for Donald Trump, but giving fewer platforms for real reporting to happen, right? It is not just about silencing those who speak, but it is about removing the number of people who actively can, shrinking, newsrooms trying to make news itself obsolete and something that we obscure and say, can we really trust? That is what Donald Trump is after. That is what these people want to do. They want to break the news that is already so broken. It is why, you'll know I've said this a million times, but independent media has never been more important than right now. I wholeheartedly believe that. And it is why we see so many leaving the mainstream press. Midas Touch just brought in a new hire today. Someone who had worked Scott McFarland in mainstream media for decades. They are building out an operation. So is the Bulwark. So is Don Lemon. We are on this show as well, and it is why many are leaving mainstream press, as we saw right here. Watch CNN host announces she's leaving the network live on air. This is a hero. CNN has reached out to the White House for comment. Okay, now to some personal news. I have decided that this will be my last week at CNN. More to come on what's next for me, but I'm really excited about this next chapter for now. A huge thank you to the team here on Early Start. We have covered some major breaking news. And why wouldn't you? Why would you not leave the network? Seriously, why wouldn't you? Someone give me a reason. I'm waiting, I'm listening. And so far, I do not hear one now. When my good buddy Adam Mockler is on CNN and he's shutting people down. When I've been on CNN and I'm shutting people down. When, I Am Politics girl Lee McGowan is on CNN shutting people down. When Mehdi Hassan, before they were racist to him, so he's just like this. I have a bigger platform than you people. I'm not going to be on your show, sure. It is fun to see MAGA get shot down, especially when it's Scott Jennings, the smug little bastard that he is. But that is not news. That is not information. That is theatre. Now, I'm not saying that that's what Adam does. Adam brings the facts. And we see our friends on the left bring the facts, and then the theatre comes as MAGA tries to spin. They have no idea what they're talking about. But that is not news. What they're attempting to do is not news. So more anchors who want to do news are going to quit. Now, I don't know if they're going to go to Substack, join other outlets. You see the explosion of more independent or left-leaning, we can say, in some of these instances, media. And then that's what people want. It is why I am able to do this show, because you'll have recognized that what you watch when you turn CN on CNN, and sometimes MSNBC. I love Chris Hayes. I love Rachel Maddow. Even though Rachel Maddow has done some defending that I don't love of Israel, and we may talk about that on a different day, but I love Chris Hayes. I love Ari Melber, Nicole Wallace. You're great. A lot of great hosts over there. Stephanie Rule kills it. Interesting insights. What is it always perfect? Is it always honest? Is it always real? Again, I love my MS friends. CNN, we should probably say this a little bit more. CNN, we should definitely say this a little bit more. They literally have Jake Tapper shooting in a mock podcast studio right now because they want to pretend that if you throw a big mic in front of someone, then it's authentic. No, it's not. I started doing this show out of my dorm room. That's how real it was, okay? I was shooting straight. There was no editorial board. There were no advertising interest. I had something to say, and I was going to say it. Sometimes it's got me into a bit of trouble, especially when we're talking about Charlie Kirk. But him. And that was my position from day one. And that was not the position of a Jake Tapper. And I can promise you this much. I got no executive over my shoulder. Allah may be a Kristen Welker. Again, I like Kristen, but I have to say this. When she's talking about the Epstein files and Elon Musk saying, well, we just have to stress, we really have to stress that Elon Musk isn't necessarily implicated. Yeah, I don't give that both sides. I don't give that benefit of the doubt to billionaires, right? Neither does Brian Tyler Cohen. Neither does Don Lemon. Neither do our good friends at I've Had It. I love you, Jen. Neither does Midas Touch. Now, of course, all people feed a clay. There's a lot of channels that I like, that I watch. Sure. Would I like them to talk more about the issues that I do? Would I like them to be a little bit more vocal, calling out a genocide? Absolutely. Would I like more attention brought to the displacement of 1 million people in southern Lebanon? Absolutely. Is Israel starting a war with Iran? Not just to start a war with Iran, but to try to create their greater Israel project by seizing more land, as we have corporate Democrats being silent and in fact praising them, defending them. Yes, of course, I would love more people to talk about that. There's always a lot to talk about, and I understand that. This is not a criticism of my other friends, but what I can say about them is that they are not taking orders from corporate overlords. They are not taking orders from Larry Ellison, who, by the way, biggest individual donor to the IDF. We should call it the actually IF, the Israeli Offensive Forces, because there's no defense right there. Poor Israel, serious. All the strikes are leaving Tel Aviv. They're not coming in. Let's be very clear about that. No need for defense by the Israelis when they start everything. Are they taking money from the Ellisons? No. And who wants Larry Ellison to control their media? Not just because it will be propagandized on behalf of Donald Trump, but it will make it worse. Listen to what they're talking about on Fox today. Doesn't exist. I have to disagree with Dana. I didn't think Kamala was hot. Oh, she was attractful. I'd say hot. I don't know. I mean, she was okay. Um, but I mean, if we're talking hot, she's not hot. I didn't say hot. I said, well, it's about hot people. Okay. AOC. I'm not gonna go. What are you being mean generous? Do you ever see that? Is this what we want? We want Jesse Waters take on how attractive he thinks Clark Harris and AOC are. Now, if we want to do a debate on this show versus, let's say a John Oath and a Wes Moore and a Gavin Newsom, we can have a tasteful conversation. But do I want creepy ass Jesse Waters, who bragged about like deflating the tires of his female producer so he could like, hey honey, I can help you out while he was married? Do I want that guy discussing the attractiveness of women in democratic politics? No. But that is what our news is going to look more and more like under Larry Ellison's control. It is the inchitification is the best term for it. It is not just propaganda. It is actively making the entertainment you consume much worse because he's not just buying CNN. He wants a subtle tilt on everything you watch. And when you control art for the interest of corporations or a fascist dictator or a genocidal regime, Allah, the Israeli government, you make art worse. It's not art anymore. Art opposes those things. Art opposes genocide. Art opposes authoritarianism. Good art does. Shitty art. Yeah, you can mass produce that with AI slop, but nobody wants that. And so in closing, I want my news to be news. I want the people I listen to be real. And if you do as well, there is only one solution. It is independent media. People who will be honest and real, and people who will call out this. I can promise you we are going to do that every single day on this show. And I couldn't be more grateful that I get the pleasure to do so. Thank you for allowing me to do this. It is important work. It bums me out. I was actually talking to Jen Welch on the phone today about how depressing everything is. But it is important, and it is the work that must be done. I can promise you I'm going to every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you.